Hello and welcome to another stream of Rise of the Tomb Raider. Going to complete the annual playthrough today, and depending on how long it takes, I'll be jumping into Shadow of the Tomb Raider, maybe later afterwards. But for now, let's jumping back into Rise. Alrighty then, so we have 2 skill points to use. I'm going to hold off on using one because there's a skill that's coming up and I don't know if I'll have enough skill points by the time it comes around to actually get it. So I might just spend 1 skill point and then leave this other one in the bank. Hey there, Godfather Al. Rise of the Rodney Legion, and then next, Shadow of the Rodney Legion. Welcome on in, Godfather. How's things going? Hey there, Kingdom Hearts. Welcome on in. Yeah, I've got Lara wearing the Commando outfit. It's something that you buy at the supply shack. It's pretty cheap, I think, as well. It doesn't cost that many coins. But it's probably my favorite outfit in this game that she has. The other one would be the... I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but... it's the... Shadowrunner. I also like that one too. Well, from then the Age of Rodney Legion Empire 4, Part 10. Kingdom Hearts, she's single. Well, unless you can teleport yourself into the world of video games or bring Lara out of the video games in the real life, I don't think there's much chance. Alright, so we're up to the part of the story where Jonah returns into it. So I don't really have to worry too much. Well, it's not that I was worried about it anyway, but I don't have to spend much time now even grabbing collectibles as we go through. But let's keep on going. Let's continue the story, because that's what I'm doing. Pretty much just do the rest of the story, and then I'll get that upgrade for the broadhead arrows so we can jam them into things automatically. Well, manually, I should say.
Jonah!
You look terrible. Terrible, but happy.
I was right, Jonah. Dad was right. The Divine Source is real. I wish he was here to see this.
He'd be proud of you. Sophia told me what you've done for her people.
Lara, it's good to see you, Sophia.
Jacob is waiting for you in the observatory.
Hey there, Ryu. How's things going, dude?
You actually found it. The founders of Kitezh were skilled craftsmen. They used this place to view the Atlas.
There. Jonah, try those chains.
Got it. Incredible.
They must have used this to plan the construction of the city.
Like ancient blueprints.
Exactly. Everything radiates out from this point. That puts the center of the city under the lake. But, something's not right.
Crystal Lake.
The cathedral, where the Atlas was, it's on the wrong side of the map. Keep rotating it. Stop! That's it. Kitezh isn't under the lake. It's under the glacier. The divine source must be there.
How the hell are we gonna get through all that ice?
Wait.
Eat it.
This path here leads into the city. The cathedral is there, and the tower on the other side. That means the entrance to Kitezh must be... here. The entrance to Kitezh is here. You knew.
It's the target!
Kill her.
Lara! Take my hand! Lara! Don't come after me!
Jonah!
Run!
No!
Lara.
Oh no.
We don't have much time. It won't be long before Trinity discovers the location of the source.
I have to go after Jonah.
Even if it means giving up the truth you came here to find.
He risked his life to come here with me. I almost lost him once. Not again.
Then go. Do what you must.
I'll just pause it there so I can catch up with chat. Godfather, and then the Rodney Legion Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Return of the Ewoks. The Ewoks want revenge for the deaths of their loved ones. You going well, Ryu? Oh, that's excellent. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Stan, welcome on in. How's things going? Oh no, the bad guys. Yeah, the bad guys came in and ruined the party. They always do that, though. You're just about to have a party, and then the bad guys are like, we're crashing the party now. How's things going, Stan? So we have the first clue to Lara that there's something Well, she suspected there's something about Jacob, but she doesn't quite know yet about 100% who Jacob is. But given that he knew where the lost city of Katesh was, what it was underneath, before Lara found out, it gives her a big clue. God found our bad men. They're just like, we're just going to come in and we're just going to ruin everything. It's interesting you see Jonah putting his rugby skills into action there. Later we're going to see him sort of like hesitate when he could have taken out Constantine. And what's interesting about that is I believe that in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because Jonah has had that experience, that he's not as he's not as not naive, but he's definitely seemed to have learnt his lesson from what happens in Rise, that we'll see soon when he actually plays Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Is Jonah from New Zealand? Well, that's the thing. He himself doesn't really identify as being from one place or the other, like Hawaii or New Zealand. He kind of, feels both, I guess. But yeah, I think he's supposed to be Hawaiian, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's supposed to be a combination of the two. But it's funny in these games because he looks one way in the first game, he looks a different way in this game, and then in Shadow he looks a different way again. So he's actually had the most drastic changes, face model wise, than Lara herself has in the trilogy. So basically Polynesian, possibly, yeah. It's so weird though, because if you look at the prequel comic to the previous game, they draw him as a completely Caucasian guy. And I was like, okay, did you even actually look at the character designs? You know what I mean? But there's a few discrepancies in that comic as well. But gives you a bit of extra insight into some of the characters though, which is quite cool.
Jonah is alive. They must be holding him in the old Soviet gulag. I never wanted to go back to that terrible place, but I can't leave him in Trinity's hands now. Jonah, hold on. Sophia, are you there?
Lara! Are you all right?
I'm up by the old copper mill overlooking the gulag. I'm about to go in after Jonah.
I know the spot. We hid a stash of weapons near where we first attacked Trinity. You might find them useful.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll see you when I get out.
Broadhead climbing arrows. Alright, so I'm going to get the upgrade to be able to jam them into surfaces. View just like the Mortal Kombat X comics, which you thought sucked. Oh, did they? Yeah. Are they supposed to be prequel comics or something?
They have Jonah now, and the Atlas. But if they think he knows something, there's still a good chance they're keeping him alive. I just hope Jonah can hold out long enough for me to find him. I have to get him back. I won't let him die here. Hang on, Jonah. I'll find you.
Still haven't actually played any of those ones, Godfather Al, but I would like to. Even though it's not something you have to play beforehand, I wouldn't mind actually starting from the beginning. So playing their first game by From Software, Demon's Souls, and then work my way through. Probably after that, I wouldn't worry too much about the order. I'd probably, go Demon Souls, the Dark Souls trilogy, and then, whichever one I felt like. I know that they're not all part of the same franchise, but the same studio behind a lot of other games like Sekiro and Bloodborne and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so here it is, Arrow Climber. Press mid jump to jam climbable broadhead arrows into soft wood surfaces.
More propaganda. Storm's coming in.
I know I've spoken little of your mother, Lara, but I want you to know that in the brief time she spent with you, she loved you utterly. We were a very happy little trio, and when we lost her, I was a wreck. I still am. I hope one day I will find answers that will stop this pain. For me it is too late, but for others, maybe not. I'm rambling now. Shouldn't have had that nightcap. Sweet dreams, dearest.
Was it all about her? Those questions about life you hoped to answer? Or was that just an excuse? Maybe I reminded you of her too much. God, Lara, you're talking to a ghost. About another ghost. Maybe you need a nightcap.
It's interesting with this version of Lara because a big criticism of her character is that she's too much following in her father's footsteps and not making trails of her own. And I sort of disagree in that it takes away from her as a character because, I mean, number one, if you look at Tomb Raider Legend and Tomb Raider Underworld, her father is someone that had actually worked with Natla before she did, and was someone that had come across certain things that she herself later comes across, and yet that doesn't get criticism for following in her father's footsteps in that sense. But if you think about Lara as a character and her experiences in the previous game, the amount of people that she lost who had died, and the fact that she has seen with her own eyes that there is more to life than what we may think, i.e., there are supernatural forces out there that exist. And it was through that experience that it opened her eyes to other things. And one of those things it opened her eyes to was what her father was searching for, which was the key to immortality. Now, why was the reason her father was looking for that? Well, after Amelia died, Lara's mother, he was absolutely devastated and distraught, and he couldn't accept that she had died. So he was trying to resurrect her, essentially. and trying to research all the kinds of artifacts in history and myth and all that kind of stuff that could help. And the Divine Source is one of those. And when you think about Lara and the people she's lost, then you can create a parallel where she really, really wants to find the Divine Source, because at the back of her mind, she wishes she could have saved the people that died on Yamatai. But she's not able to. But maybe she can prevent other people from having to go through that pain. And so that's where I would say that her pursuit of the Divine Source becomes a personal thing, and it's not just because her father searched for it. So I really think that sometimes criticisms of these games get muddled up, either because the person criticizing doesn't actually analyze all aspects and think from a different perspective, and think more from the perspective of, I'm going to not like this character by default, and so I won't look any further, and just basically discredit this version completely by saying that. Now, I get it, dual pistols, Lara wearing, short shorts and her classic outfit. Those are elements of the classic Lara that people really, really miss in the newer games. And it's true, for PC games, you can get mods, and all that kind of stuff. So Reboot Lara can have the outfit that classic Lara wears, and all that kind of stuff. And being a fan of both versions, I can definitely see where they're coming from. But because I'm a fan of both versions, I also like to analyze the Reboot Lara as a character too, and look at certain aspects and really compare, because, sometimes something a previous version of a character did matches what the new version does as well, but people discredit the new version because the new version doesn't feel like the same character. And the thing is, right, like, if classic Lara, was in a situation where her best friend was almost dead, or, was in threat of being killed, would she just, be all happy and smiles about it? No, she'd be quite pissed off. And this is the thing that even classic Lara showed emotion and all that kind of stuff. It's just that in the older school games, that wasn't really a focus of portraying the character, and the character as she's portrayed in the classic games is very much of that era of storytelling and characterization in video games for that time. That doesn't mean you can't redo that again. It's just that I feel that there's certain aspects of Lara's character that supersede any physical or fashion aspects of the character. And how many times in this reboot trilogy does Lara have every opportunity to just walk away and give up, and she doesn't? Yeah, so she feels pain and she emotes, things related to in pain, and all that kind of stuff. But like the people who say that men who show emotion are weak and that they shouldn't be afraid to, why is a character like Lara Croft considered weak for showing emotion? It's a bit hypocritical, I think. And so the fact that she shows emotion about stuff is just another layer to the character that they've added. But the thing is, both versions of Lara have that aspect to them where they will not give up. They see a goal, they see an objective, and they go for it. And no matter what gets thrown in their way, they still keep on going. So no matter what Lara in the old games goes through, she'll keep on pushing through. She doesn't give up. This version of Lara keeps pushing through and doesn't give up. It's just that they've added more events in the stories where we see Lara showing emotions and things like that. And you look at characters like Sarah Connor from Terminator 2. Now in Terminator 2, she's a badass. but it's not because she's changed herself physically. You know, she's very formidable physically as well, but mentally she's really strong. And there's a moment later in the movie where she breaks down and cries. Now, does that in any way, shape, or form make her character, you know, any less impactful? No, it doesn't. You know, she breaks down and cries because she realizes that she almost became the thing that she's been fighting against, i.e. the Terminator. She was almost willing to snuff out a human's life and not even consider certain things. Now, does that mean she's not going to be angry at Miles Bennett Dyson? No, of course not. But it's okay that she breaks down and cries. It doesn't make her character weak. And so when Lara has an emotional moment and she cries, I think it's quite unfair to her character to dismiss her. Oh, she just whines all the time. And it's like, well, no. It's like people, you know, even people who, when you see them, look very sad, they're not necessarily sad every single day of their life. You know, you're just seeing them when they're going through something, you know, and not everyone who's happy when you see them is actually happy 100% all the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's just certain things about the reboot Lara that I feel get unfairly used as criticism against her version as well. And in the old school Tomb Raider games, we never see Lara when she first learns the skills that she has as well. You know, so if we were going to show Lara learning the acrobatic moves that she's learned, she's not going to just wake up one day and instantly be able to do flips and cartwheels without having, you know, practiced or trained. You know what I mean? Like, we just never see that because that's not what they were focusing on when they were telling the stories with Lara in those games. They weren't focusing on, let's have her go through an origin story and let's actually show her doing things for the first time and all that kind of stuff. And if you look at Lara when she is fighting in the previous game to this one, and you compare her to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, it's a big difference in her level of skill. Like, she's a really, really dangerous opponent that can definitely hold her own in a fight. You know, like we see the fight that she puts up against the dude in the previous game and then shoots him, and that's the first person she's killed. And then we see the fight that she has with that dude one-on-one in Shadow of the Tomb Raider when it's the later part of the game, you know, and she, like, doesn't know if Jonah's alive or not. And before the guy approaches her, she's like, don't try me. You know, and does she win the fight flawlessly? No. But she keeps on fighting and she overcomes the dude because she's way more skilled. And we've seen her go from being less skilled to being more skilled. We didn't see that with the classic version of Lara. And that's not a criticism against the writers or anything like that, or that version for not seeing that. It's just that that wasn't their focus when they were actually coming up with the stories and coming up with the character of Lara. You know, if you show a character when they're already experienced with things, naturally, when you do a version when they're not that experienced, naturally people are going to be like, that's not my version. And it's like, but even your version had to start somewhere. You know, people don't just wake up one morning and they're an expert fighter. Like, Bruce Lee didn't wake up one morning and just automatically be able to do the things that he trained to do. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's my rant about talking about characters and stuff in video games. Afro, thank you so much for redeeming Lara's outfit change. There's a campfire here, so I'll be able to have a look at that. Sorry, sometimes I just go off on a tangent and get tunnel vision with what I'm actually talking about. Oh, the rest in peace. Hang on. Chat scrolling up. Okay, so Lara outfit, and then Harbinger wants the death one. Okay, cool. Afro, she looks cold. Let's get her a fancy red jacket. Okay, so you want the do you want the reimagined Antarctica outfit? Or Do you want the other one? What is it? I think there was another one with orange. It's not the remnant jacket. This one. Do you want this one? The expedition jacket? Oh, the Antarctica one. Okay, cool. No worries at all, Afro. We can definitely do that. Thanks for redeeming that. So for the next hour, that redeem will be on cooldown. Stan, Detroit, become divine sauce. Yes, you need to get the perfect sauce when you're cooking. Godfather, yeah, she also surpassed her father, not just about following her father's interests. Exactly, you know. And I feel, too, there's nothing wrong with a character who, you know, goes along a similar path to someone else before them, because that is what the character's doing. Like, her father isn't the only person in the world, in the history of existence, who has been searching for places like this. You know, there would have been other people centuries ago that were looking for these sorts of things, you know. So if anything, Lara's following in the footsteps of everyone who's gone looking for the city of Katesh. Everyone who's gone looking for, you know, Paititi in Shadow of the Tomb Raider as well. Reboot Lara way better. Old school one more catered to teenage boys mainly. Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like, you look at things like Xena, Warrior Princess, and at first you could say that that was all it was targeted for, and, you know, that wouldn't be too far from the truth. But like with Lara Croft, there was a big sort of like gay and lesbian following that Xena had. And it would be the same with Lara Croft as well. And I think things can transcend what they were intended for and go on to become, you know, things that other people enjoy. I know you're not being 100% serious, Godfather, but it just made me think of a really good point about certain, you know, characters and stuff. And it goes for male characters as well. You know, some male characters are obviously intended to be targeted towards a certain demographic, but that doesn't mean women can't, you know, like the character as well. It's like when someone wants to do a story. They might cater to a certain demographic with their story, but that doesn't necessarily mean people outside of it aren't going to be interested, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So, Harbinger, thank you for redeeming. Rest in peace, Lara. Alright. There we go. Thanks for redeeming that, Harbinger. Godfather, people still say men who show emotion are weak. Yeah, I mean, there's probably some people who, you know, still believe that kind of thing. But we're all human, you know. We all have things that affect us in certain ways. And some people, you know, show that emotion and are fine with it. Others, you know, show that emotion and don't like, you know, feeling like showing that part of themselves, you know, and all that kind of stuff. If you really don't like the controls in reboot games, can't crouch and she feels too light. Well, that's true. Yeah, you definitely can't crouch. The only time that the character crouches is when she's in a stealth situation. Reggie bites back. Thank you so much for the follow. Stan, thanks for the podcast. No worries at all, Stan. Godfather, nice TED Talk.
Darling, is my precious.
Thank you for redeeming that, Gallanth. Welcome to you as well. How's things going for you? Thanks for redeeming the golden impression.
only wish to get your fish to juicy sweet. What's taters, precious?
Potatoes, boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Gallum, it's your bedtime. Figured you should make me say something weird. Have a good night. Probably see you tomorrow. That's okay, Gallum. That's absolutely no trouble at all. I really hope that you have a great sleep. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really do appreciate it. Gotta love those time zones. It's about 20 to 4 in the afternoon here. Would like to recommend people check out Gallum's channel if you haven't before. Has been doing some 7 Days to Die. He's a great streamer. He's really good with chat as well. And you'll definitely have a great time. So highly recommend. And I hope you have a good rest, Gallum. Hope you get a good sleep. No problem for shout out at all. No worries at all, dude. I'll be finishing this today. And then I'll be jumping into Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Because overall, there's not really that much story left. Thank you so much, Gallum, for leaving the lurk too. Really appreciate that as well.
I should never have doubted you, Dad. I wasn't there when you needed me most. I'm sorry. I'll make them see that you were right all along. That you sought the truth, not fairy tales. I'll make it right, Dad. I promise.
Lara, it's time. Jonah's waiting.
Jonah. Jonah must be up there somewhere.
The giant golf ball.
Extraordinary. The divine source. It's in the center of the old city, buried beneath the ice.
Then it's time to move. I will notify the dig teams and prepare the transports.
Our men encountered the Deathless Ones in the Archive. This will not be easy, brother.
The Holy Path is not meant to be easy.
Are the men aware of what they will face?
No. But they are prepared to fight and to die for the cause. That's all we need from them.
Constantine, now that we're so close to the end...
We've only just begun.
I'm afraid Trinity is just using us. What if they don't intend to let you keep the source? We should prepare for...
No! You must have faith. I wasn't chosen by Trinity. Once the source is mine, it won't matter what they want. I will lead God's immortal army. And you shall live.
Constantine. The prisoner is awake and ready for questioning.
I'm on my way.
You know what's really messed up? And this doesn't take anything away from Constantine being an asshole and worth being disliked, etc. But when he was younger, his sister, Anna, when he was asleep, basically cut his hands, and when he woke up crying in pain, she basically told him that he was chosen by God and that he was given the stigmata. And that is something that really, really messed him up mentally, to the point where he had this, I guess, chosen one complex, you could call it, where he believed that he was chosen by God himself to do whatever it is that his sister wanted to direct him towards doing. So she really, really, really was a piece of work even back then. And the only thing I don't get is how someone can have an injury like that from childhood and still be able to have it bleed. Maybe there is some real life wounds that happens with people. So forgive my ignorance if there is, but yeah, she cut his hands when he was asleep as a child, and made him think that he was chosen by God because of the wounds that he had on his hands. And that's really, really fucking messed up. I wouldn't be surprised if Anna... Because here's the thing, right? Anna never coughs, never shows any signs that she's sick. Whenever we see her before it gets revealed that she's actually working with Trinity, we only see that happen afterwards. Now, either Anna is very good at hiding that, and probably people in real life can hide it. I mean, I know that I can stop myself from sneezing by doing certain, breathing and stuff, and stop myself from sneezing. So maybe there's something that people can do similar to stop themselves from coughing. So maybe she was able to not cough around Lara and all that kind of stuff. Or maybe she did and just passed it off as, oh, it's just my smoker's cough, or something like that. But my theory is that Anna is probably putting it on more than it's actually true. And I wouldn't be surprised if she does that to keep providing motivation for Constantine to feel like he's the savior. You're going to save us. You're going to become, you're God's chosen. You're going to lead the world. The divine source is yours. We're going to get this. You can stop people from dying. All this kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if that's partly how she kept Constantine in fear of losing his sister by acting things up more than they actually are.
Tracks.
Hold your fire.
Everywhere.
Itchy trigger finger, sorry. You saw movement and reacted. I would have done the same.
Hey there, Shin. Do they ever say what illness
No.
Anna has?
Wrong way.
I don't think they ever do, no. I mean, there's nothing in the audio files that you can hear where Anna's talking about stuff that she mentions it. But maybe she, you could say that maybe she doesn't mention it because she knows that potentially the recordings could be compromised. But I doubt that, though. So there's probably things that you could say that prove that she's not putting it on. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was. Like, if someone said officially, yes, she's putting it on, I wouldn't be surprised.
What happened? truck was too heavy, the bridge collapsed. Everything's falling apart in this place. Should we call it in? Don't bother. Over there! What the hell? I think there's someone out there. We're under attack! Let's do a sweep. I got nothing here. Watch the trees. What? She's there! Open fire! Just you and me.
Shin, the coughing makes you think it might be lung cancer or esophagus cancer. Yeah. I mean, there's probably some things that you could definitely say, hey, you know, she's probably able to, kind of like, you know, or maybe it's intermittent. Hey there, Calm. Quite a bit of depth to the characters in this game. There really is, and it's cool that you can learn more about the characters through like journal entries and stuff like that.
What happened back there?
Bridge collapsed. Looks like we're gonna have to fly out the rest of the cargo.
Hope they found something up there. Getting sick of this place.
Patience. If we succeed here, we can go wherever the hell we want.
So, the attack on the observatory was a success?
Yeah, we got the Atlas. They took it up to the weather station.
Why there?
Not sure. I heard some chat.
Spread out. There, open
Shin, you're installing a retro game that you could not finish when you first bought it. So what's the name of it?
An old Soviet plaque.
Shin, so it's called Mage Knight Apocalypse. Never heard of that one.
Anna must be close. It's a...
There we go, we're getting closer to the giant golf ball.
Busy down here. What's going on? New orders. We're getting ready to move. We actually found it? Looks like it. Damn, I thought I'd
Were you with Constantine down in Syria?
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Incoming! We're under attack! Gotcha! I see her! Take her down! We got a man down! We're getting torn apart! Let's finish her!
So once I finish this game, we'll be jumping into Shadow of the Tomb Raider. For my annual playthrough for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'm actually doing a 100% playthrough to make up for the fact that I wasn't able to make my annual 2022 playthrough a 100% playthrough in the end, because I ran out of time, so I just finished off the story so I could finish the playthrough before the year ended, because I only had 1 day left, literally, of streaming it. And so I finished the game story and had to leave aside doing the rest of the 100%. But this year's different. I've got a lot more time to get 100% in Shadow of the Tomb Raider done. So out of these Tomb Raider reboot games this year, Shadow's the only one that I'm going to be doing 100% for. That's why for the 2013 game and this game I wasn't doing 100% again, because I'd already done that last year. And then once that playthrough's finished, Tomb Raider streams will go back to being every Friday instead of being Thursday and Friday. And that will allow me to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays for one game at a time. Because the more days I have up my sleeve, the more easily I can get through my priority playthroughs before the year ends. Some, though, I have to put on hold because I don't have a version of the game that I can actually stream. I mean, maybe by some miracle, the issue that happens with the Xbox when streaming from it might have actually been solved in the months that it's been since I last streamed an Xbox game. I highly doubt it, though, but I do want to test it out just in case. Because there's some games like the Splinter Cell games and Deus Ex Human Revolution that I need to play, but if the Xbox version that I have isn't going to cut it, then I'll have to get the 2013 version that has the DLC content integrated into the game. I mean, granted, it's been quite a few years since I did the Missing Link DLC anyway. So if I have to do that with the PC version, so be it. It's just I prefer having the original version of Human Revolution because the DLC is separate. And so having it separate means that I don't have to do it every single time I play through the game. What would be good is if they released the PS3 versions of Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory onto the PlayStation Network as part of the classics. Then that'd be a different story with those three games.
This is becoming
Jonah!
Negative. We're moving on to the next phase of the operation. Just...
Someone's here!
Make sure you have all the prisoners accounted for, and then put them down.
Your loyalty to her is strong. I admire you. I do. But even my patience has limits. Tell me what you know. Now! Please, please, no.
Don't listen to him!
I was only doing what I believed was right. Sweep the cell blocks. Kill everyone.
Sorry. I should have killed him. But he was unarmed, I just couldn't.
Shh. You shouldn't have to. I am so sorry for getting you into this mess.
I thought I could keep up.
They're coming. We're surrounded.
This time I've got your back.
He's dying. We don't have much time.
Bar the door.
All units respond. We've got to deal with her.
We're almost in position. Not seeing the target.
I know that you like to read the archaeological journals now, but I urge you that if you see anything written which is less than pleasant about me, to ignore it. There are those who simply do not understand the work I'm doing here. Perhaps they're even frightened by it, but their fear and stupidity is not my concern, and neither should it be yours. I will explain everything in good time, my darling girl.
The people that were frightened, were they Trinity? You never told me. I guess it doesn't matter now anyway. They found their way to me. Now I'm going to have to deal with them.
Yes, Dan. Yeah, Jonah, just couldn't, kill him. But the thing about that experience is that in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because him and Lara have been going through and wiping out Trinity cells, he's definitely learned his lesson from that experience and knows that when it comes to Trinity, you can't let your guard down with them.
Command, we are in position and have visual on target.
Got to take them out.
Target acquired. Weapons free. Let's take her out.
Oh, shit.
Contact! Give me covering fire! Clear the area! Open his fire!
What now?
We have visual on the target. I repeat, we have visual on the target.
Damn it!
Join with Leo. We'll take care of this one.
Confirmed heat sink. Ready to engage.
Roger. All engaged.
Throwing a grenade.
Damn it. What the hell's going on?
Someone get a visual. We're gonna lose her.
Surrounded. Got to do this carefully.
Under fire! Taking casualties! Cover me!
That was the last of them. Got to get back to Jonah. Oh God, no. Jonah. Jonah.
Lara.
I'm here.
Lara. Listen to me.
Try not to move.
If I don't make it out of here,
Don't talk like that.
no, just listen. You can't blame yourself anymore. We all make our own choices.
His end is near.
No, he can't die.
We can help him.
How?
We must get him to the observatory, to Jacob.
Only Jacob can save Jonah now. We have to get him back to the observatory. Jacob, he's dying.
Let me attend to him. The Lord is your guardian, your protective shade at your right hand. The sun shall not harm you by day, nor moon by night. The Lord guard your soul from all evil. The Lord guard your going and coming, from now to all time. Keep pressure on the wound. Prepare him.
Jacob, you were shot. You are him, aren't you? The Deathless Prophet.
I can feel pain. I can be hurt. I am human. Save for a human ending.
And the Divine Source?
Something I found long ago. It is real. And deeply powerful. But it is not divine.
So you've lied to them for generations.
I'm not proud of it. But I did it to protect them. I once used the Source to grant my armies their long lives. But it was a terrible mistake.
The ones I saw in the archive.
When enemies attacked Kitezh, the Deathless Ones brought the ice from the mountain down upon the city. Thousands were killed. But they committed an atrocity to keep the power. And so will Trinity. But on a much larger scale.
That's not you. The man I've come to know would never harm his people.
Don't you see? All of this is my doing. And it must finally come to an end.
Father! They're on the move.
They're going to brute force their way into the ice.
Then we've already lost. No. There has to be a way to stop them. Jacob, the map showed a secret entrance into the city.
Path of the Deathless. But it's too dangerous.
We're running out of time. You know I can't give up now.
If we can delay Trinity, that might just give us a chance.
I will take our forces and attack them on the ice.
Then it's time. Open the path. When you're ready, the entrance lies beneath the observatory. I will do what I can for your friend.
Hey there, Brew. Good morning. How's things? So earlier in the story, when Lara was escaping with Jacob from the Gulag, there was a part where she was running away from a helicopter and she fell into the ice at the end of that sequence and was knocked unconscious. Fast forward to a bit of time later and she wakes up in the care of Jacob. Now, given the fact that Jacob is the immortal prophet, and given the fact that he has the ability to heal people of their wounds, even wounds that would normally have otherwise killed them, I have a theory that Lara actually died, or almost died, when that happened earlier in the story, and Jacob was able to bring her back to life, or bring her away from the brink of death. Brew, need more tea to wake up properly. Oh, so what kind of tea do you drink? I don't drink tea that much anymore, but I mean, if someone offered me a tea, I definitely would take it. I prefer coffee overall, but I would still drink tea though. Maybe not green tea, I don't know about that kind of tea, but also Yorkie kind of tea. Cool. Yeah, I haven't actually had some tea for a very long time. I remember as a kid I used to have tea with a lot of milk, though. It was only, a little bit of hot water, of course, to make it temperature, but had a whole lot more milk in it. That would have been when I was like around 5 to maybe 7 years old. I'd like to have that. But I didn't become a coffee drinker until much later in life, in my 20s. I had tried coffee in my teenage years, but I didn't like it. But that was before I actually had a coffee that was made in a proper coffee machine. And after that, I was like, I was having the wrong coffees, it seems. Brew milk is only a teardrop in a cup you like it strong. That's fair too, as well. It's good to make it how you like it. I love it. We can't grab on the corner of that ledge. Brew, you prefer coffee, you'll drink it instant, is crap. Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't like instant coffee. It's why you bought a Tassimo. Never actually heard of that. I'm assuming it's a coffee machine. Haven't actually heard of that brand before. What are those like?
I just have to catch my breath for a moment. This place, Kitezh, Jacob, the Deathless Ones. I've been running so fast for so long, I haven't stopped to acknowledge the simple fact that all of this is real. A part of me can't believe it. But I know Jacob was telling the truth. Whatever made him is here, and I'm going to find it before Trinity. I only wish Dad was alive to share in this discovery.
Oh, I see, Bruce. So it's a Bosch that takes Tassimo pods. Yeah, never actually tried those before, to be honest.
Amazing. Jacob, I'm heading in. What will I find down here?
My people haven't been down there since we sealed it off, centuries ago. But it should be safe, at least until you make it past the orrery.
Was it part of the observatory?
It was built by my astronomers, before the Deathless buried the old city. You'll need to use it to open the entrance to Kitezh.
Brew, it's more or less like going into Costco, only it's cheaper. Oh, that's really good. It's always good to find the cheapest option And the thing about the cheapest option is some might say, well, the cheapest option is going to be the worst quality, isn't it? And it's like, well, not necessarily. You can definitely have stuff that's cheap priced and cheap quality that's going to not be that good. But you can also get some really good quality stuff that's at a cheaper price.
This is extraordinary. Let's see how this thing works.
Of course, we can't reach something that is reachable. Character model could have reached that. Throwing right-handed to the far left. Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Ifrit, how's things going? Oh, that's excellent. That's good to hear.
Jacob's people were ahead of their time.
Tell you what, I'm glad this isn't a no-death playthrough. Although, having said that, when I did do one, I actually died at the orrery and had to restart the game from the start. Come on! Jesus fucking Christ. So I was slightly off a little bit, so fucking what? Can't the character fucking extend their hands out and grab? I'm sorry it wasn't fucking pixel perfect.
Patience, Lara. Now! Codex. This one speaks of the advanced archery skills developed in Byzantium.
Classically trained. Increase the number of arrows that can be rapidly shot without redrawing from the quiver to 3. Ifrit, you hope Camilla Luddington returns as Lara in whatever the next game planned is. I would like that too. I think she did a great job with this version of Lara. Unfortunately though, that might not be the case. I still don't know whether the reason she didn't return for the Netflix animated series they're doing is because she didn't want to do the role anymore, or if it was just like scheduling conflicts with her other projects or whatnot. But for the animated series that is in development for Netflix, Hayley Atwell will actually be playing Lara. And it's the same Lara that's in these reboot games that's going to be in that animated series. But you never know. Maybe she'll return for the next game if they're still doing this version of Lara. And that's something that's up in the air at the moment, because there's been a few changes happened since the last time they announced that they were working on a video game. The rights have changed hands, so who knows if everything's going to be the same as what they had planned. Amazon Game Studios is now going to be publishing, I think, the game, whatever that game is. In the past, they've said they want to unify the timelines, which I don't really know what they mean by that. It could mean several things, but they never said what they meant by it. But in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if they rebooted yet again. But it's going to be confusing because there's also a live-action series in development. There's also another movie in development. And they're all supposed to have a different version of Lara in each one of them. So I don't know what they plan to do with those projects.
The old city is close.
But I don't like the idea of having 3 different versions of Lara in 3 different mediums being released around the same time. I think that just creates franchise confusion and oversaturation as well. Like, if they were doing some spin-off series that explored certain things, like if they were going to do a spin-off series that actually explored Yamatai, back when Himiko was alive, when World War II era soldiers landed on the island, and when Matthias did, then I wouldn't mind that as like a spin-off series.
Lara, we're on the mountain above the glacier.
Can you see Trinity?
Yes, they're beginning their operation.
I'm entering the old city now. Listen, Sophia, don't attack them too soon.
We'll give it some time. I'll contact you again soon.
So yeah, we don't really have any concrete idea yet of what the next game's going to be, what the story will be, things like that.
Έχουν όπλα που δεν έχουμε ξαναδεί ομοιά τους, όμως εσείς φοράτε την πανοπλία της πίστης και όταν πέσετε θα σηκωθείτε ξανά. Θα τους σκοτώσετε όλους, η πηγή δεν θα μετακινηθεί. Θα υπακούσετε την διαταγή του προφήτη. Από τον πάγο από ψηλά. Θα στήσουνε προς την καρδιά της πόλης. Εκεί θα συναντήσουνε τους εισβολείς και θα βάψουνε την πόλη με το αίμα των ερευνητών. Τώρα, κουνηθείτε!
Sorry, game. Jeez. Didn't know the game wasn't going to let me do that. Like, sorry for using one of the game mechanics you put into the game. Fine, we'll climb up this normally. Just so the game can comprehend what I'm doing, so I'm not going too fast for it.
Είναι ο άξονας του κόσμου. Τα πάντα περιστρέφονται γύρω από αυτήν. Εμείς είμαστε η ιερή φρουρή. Προστατεύουμε για προστατεύουμε για 10.000 ακόμη χρόνια. Εγκαταλείψαμε την παλιά μας ζωή για να σταθούμε φρουροί κατά των εχθρών της πηγής μέχρι να σβήσει ο ήλιος. Δεν θα τραπήκαμε σε όπλο.
Coming up, the first time I did a bow-only challenge with this game, there was a part coming up where the game automatically switched weapons on me, and I had a challenge rule where if I shot a weapon that wasn't a bow, even if it hit nothing, I had to restart the whole game from the start. And of course, on that first attempt, the first time I did a playthrough like that, I got all the way up to this part before accidentally firing a pistol shot because the game decided to change what I had equipped from the bow to the pistol, and I had to restart the game from the start. Luckily, I only had to do that once for that playthrough. And then, years after that, I did a bow-only challenge with this game, the 2013 game, and Shadow back to back. And I actually got through all three without having to restart at all. But if you want to do a challenge like that, you have to be careful and always double check that you've got your bow equipped. Even if you think you might still have your bow equipped, just check, because you might not, because the game likes to swap out what weapon you have equipped all the time at various points. Righto, game. Let me go into the QTE, but don't let me actually finish the QTE. Nice.
Konstantin! Regina, Konstantin!
Hey there, Death. Your GOG copy of Tomb Raider 2 appears to not have cutscenes. Is there a known fix? I got the Steam version. I don't remember having that issue with the cutscenes. But I don't know why they'd been missing from that GOG version as well. But there's a website that's really good, and I'll just put a link in chat to it. PC Gaming Wiki. So if you go to that website and put in Tomb Raider 2, it'll give you a page about all the patches and kinds of things that have been made available for them. Because when they released them on GOG and Steam, they pretty much just spewed them on there and didn't do anything else. So fans had to mod and add patches and everything to actually fix a lot of the stuff. But I've had issues with the cutscenes with that game having scan lines through them. And I managed to get it fixed for Tomb Raider 2, but I couldn't get it fixed for Tomb Raider 3, because that also had the scan line in the FMV problem as well. But yeah, if you go to that site, that's a good resource for patches and things for PC games. Godfather, how does a ghost phantom get choked out? Does that mean that they still breathe air? Maybe when they're a ghost, their lungs work differently, and maybe air works differently. And so the way in which it works differently might only be in whether or not it affects the ghost. And in that ghostly form, the ghostly version of that, of their lungs, must have the same reaction that human lungs do. Or maybe a wizard did it. That's okay, Godfather. It's like, too bad we can't ask a ghost to get confirmation. The Lost City. Well, it's not lost now, it's been found.
Lara, they're going to break through the ice any minute.
Do you think you can stop them?
The best we can do is buy you some time. I'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, Ada Wong. The actress who plays Ada Wong in Resident Evil 2 Remake plays Sophia in this. When I found that out, I could not stop hearing Ada. But that's okay. That doesn't mean the actor is bad at acting or anything. You can't expect every single person to be able to make sure that all the characters they ever play each have a voice that sounds very different to another. Gonna burn me alive now. You'll never get your filthy hands on Jill. I'm not the only one after it. You realize that. Then you won't die alone. Thanks for redeeming that from Resident Evil 2 Remake.
The Chamber of Souls. The Divine Source has to be there. Looks like the way into the city center is through that gate. I don't know what I expected an immortal being to be like, but Jacob seems so human. The things he must have seen over the years, all that experience and knowledge, it's difficult to fathom. And yet, he lied to his own people for generations, all for the sake of this secret. What wonders will be unlocked with the Divine Source? Will humans finally understand the true nature of the soul? Or will it unlock some extraordinary new scientific discovery? One thing is certain. It's too important to allow Trinity to control.
When you think about it, the ability to stop people from dying, you just know that if there ever was such a thing in real life, regular everyday people would probably not get access to it. It would only be those important people in various, parts of certain, aspects of society that would be given the ability to essentially live forever. And someone who really needed life-saving surgery but wasn't able to get it would probably not be able to be able to actually get that. I will be, Harbinger, yeah. Yeah, I'll be starting Shadow of the Tomb Raider today. Which will be good to get a head start, because I'm doing a 100% playthrough with that one. And so it'll give me a good head start on that. And then next week, Thursday and Friday, I'll be able to put towards that as well.
Patrolling the streets. Got to stay out of sight.
Hey, Zequiel. It's going good, thank you. How about you?
Shit! They're firing at me! Maybe I could use them to break through that gate.
Godfather.
Break down that gate.
Dark Plagueis was a powerful Dark Lord of the Sith, so he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. I've never heard this story before. I can't remember what Anakin says there, but... Can I learn this from a... Is this a... I don't know, I can't remember. Something about... Is this something that a Jedi can teach me? Or something like that? I don't know. Haven't seen Attack of the Clones since... probably 20 years ago. I can't remember now.
That's good enough. Now to fire. That did it.
Jesus Christ. I'm not having a good day today with this game with, you know, making jumps and stuff. Thought I had enough distance to actually grab that.
Before I even held you, I almost lost you, Lara. Yet you fought back, determined to live, breathe, ball your tiny fists and scream the hospital down. It was the best noise I ever heard. When I went home that snowy night, I cooked myself a steak. Then I drank half a bottle of whiskey, tried to make snowshoes out of tennis rackets, and fell asleep with the cat. I was so damn happy.
I think I must have heard that story about a dozen times, and I could hear it a dozen more. I wish that could have lasted. I wish we'd had more time.
Time, the opponent that we all face, that we will never defeat. It will always defeat us.
There's been some structural damage. The battle certainly took its toll, but most of the city is still standing. Almost there. The Chamber of Souls is through that gate. Just need to find another trebuchet.
Lara. You must reach the source before them.
There's nothing more you can do. Get somewhere safe.
Not a chance. You need us as much as we need you. We survive together, or we die alone. Now go.
I have Godfather, yeah. Yeah, that was actually the first PlayStation 5 game I played and streamed. I wanted to wait until I was ready to actually play and stream that game before actually playing anything on my PlayStation 5. So I played that when the game came out. And I think you asked me a while ago what new games I'd played this year.
Now to take out that gate.
And I actually forgot that one. So that's one that I played this year that was a new one.
Almost through. Just one more shot.
Thanks for redeeming the Bane impression, Harbinger.
Even when your kind appears to triumph, still we rise again. And do you know why? It is because the Order is born.
Hang on. Sorry. Gonna have to do it without the Pringle can this time around. Something's wrong with the Pringle can. Did I use for that? Let's see if I can... I'll just do a test and just tell me if it still comes through if I do it like this.
Even when your kind appears to triumph, still we rise again. And do you know why?
Does that come through okay if I do it with my hands? Or is it a bit too muffled? How about this?
Even when your kind appears to triumph.
I did that one with my hands a bit more open. It was fine, but not as good as the Pringle can. Yeah, I think because the Pringle can I'm using, I like to use it for Maltesers as well. And I think because I've still got some Maltesers in the Pringles can, that it's reverberating against those and making that noise. That was better with the one hand. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, I just remembered I've got a spare Pringles can. One that's actually empty.
Even when your kind appears to triumph, still we rise again. And do you know why? It is because the Order is born of a realization. We require no creed, no indoctrination by desperate old men. All we need is that the world be as it is. And this is why the Templars will never be destroyed.
There we go. Thanks for redeeming that, Harbinger. Godfather, what did you think of Ada Wong, voice actress in RE4 remake? Apparently the actress got harassed online for her portrayal of her. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do that, you need to go see a psychiatrist. if you're going to take it to that level. Criticizing someone is one thing. Like if you said, I didn't really like her performance, I felt she didn't fit the character, I felt that other people had done it better, then that's fine. But when people say, fuck that person, they're fucking dumb, they suck, you know, and all that type of stuff, and then go off and, you know, some idiots give them death threats and all that kind of stuff. And I know that some people find humor in death threats because they're, you know, looking at it from the perspective of they're just joking, they're not really meaning the death threat and whatnot. But still, I mean, if you receive a death threat, you still have to take it seriously. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, as for how I felt with her portrayal of Ada Wong, I think because people had enjoyed the remake version of her in Resident Evil 2 so much, they were expecting that if not that person to return, that whoever did would copy that person and follow them the same. And the thing about Ada is, it's not the first time in history that the character has had someone else portray her. I don't know the names of the people, but I'm pretty sure the person who plays Ada Wong in the original Resident Evil 2 is different to the one who plays her in the original version of Resident Evil 4. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a different person again for Resident Evil 6. And then, of course, you have Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is someone else. And then you have Resident Evil 4 Remake, which is someone else again. You know, I can understand being disappointed that the person that they got doesn't live up maybe to the previous ones that have come along, and that's fine. Personally, though, I didn't really have an issue with her character. I think Ada is a character that, you know, doesn't necessarily express much through her words. Like, she's not really a character that really... Like, she might have a bit of sass to her, but she doesn't necessarily have, like... She's not, like, very sarcastic. She's not, like, very... you know, overly happy or anything like that. And I feel that maybe what they were trying to do with her in the Resident Evil 4 remake was have someone who was a bit more kind of like deadpan serious, you know, and someone that was not as emotive in the voice. And so for some people that comes across as bad performance. But then at the end of the day, we don't know what takes weren't used for the final thing. And this is something that has to be considered for every single kind of project. You could be the best actor in the world, you could give your best performance ever, but if the people who decide which takes of your performance to use decide to use the crap ones, that's out of the actor's control. They can't just say to the person in charge, that's wrong, use this other take instead. They don't have the say, right? So we don't know if the entire performance of Ada Wong in Resident Evil 4 Remake is using all the best takes and putting them in, or if there were maybe some better takes that weren't used, but it's not the person playing the character's fault, if that's the case, because they've got no control over that. If the person who is directing them, like an actor can come in and say, I think things should be done like this, but the person in charge might be like, no, I think this is how it should be done. And so they do it the way that they want it to be done. And sometimes that fits, and the person who made the decision was right, and sometimes the actor was right, but they don't have control over that. So if they wanted to do a certain approach and the person in charge was like, no, I don't think that's the approach that you should take, there's not much they can do. I mean, they can walk from the project, I guess, but, you know, that would be a solution maybe, but I don't know. But it just didn't bother me. Yeah, I know, right, Harbinger? Imagine that. Technical difficulties with something that's physical. Godfather, yeah, people are dickheads. She had to get off Instagram, Facebook, etc. due to the harassment. Death threats are going too far. Yeah, you know, it's just utterly ridiculous, you know. And there's other ways to get your criticisms about something across in a way that is productive. You know, and feedback, even negative feedback, is good. It just depends on how it's given. It's not, you know, like... Sorry, I hit my mic. Like, you can criticize something and you can be negative about it, but you can be negative in a way that is trying to offer suggestions or feedback. Like, I absolutely hated how the character was portrayed there. You know, you should get someone better next time. Like, yeah, that kind of criticism can hurt some people, but it's not a form of criticism that should be considered to be harassment. You know what I mean? You're just basically saying, I think someone could have done a better job. That's not harassing someone. That's just offering your opinion on the fact that you feel that someone could have done a better job instead of the person who did it. You know, it's all about how you communicate stuff. Harbinger, Alan Wake is delayed. Alan Wake 2 is delayed. Really? So when's it delayed till? Is it still in October? Delayed by 10 days. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. October 27. So that makes it closer to Halloween. That actually works out really well because traditionally for my October streams I start off with Alan Wake 1 and I'm still going to stick to that, but I'm also going to do another playthrough of Alan Wake 1 before 2 comes out. So that'll actually be good to have it later in the month because then I can get the Outlast playthrough done earlier. So I think what I might do is Alan Wake 1 will be the first stream for Horror Month. I mean, I'll still probably be, like, by the time, like, the 1st of October, if I have a look, is on a Sunday. So that would still be Assassin's Creed on the Sunday. But I want to make it so that Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in October are all dedicated to horror games. So I'd still stick to tradition and make Alan Wake the first quote-unquote horror game. I know some people don't consider it a horror game, more like a thriller, but I sort of think it can go under both categories. And that would be like the second. And I could probably, sometimes, depending on when I start, like, and what I'm doing in the playthrough, I can finish Alan Wake in one sitting. What I think I'll do is do a vanilla playthrough of Alan Wake to kick off the horror month of horror games. And then when it comes to replaying it again in preparation for Alan Wake 2, so I can jump straight from Alan Wake 1 into Alan Wake 2, in that playthrough, I'll also do the 2 DLC episodes that come with Alan Wake as well. So I can do it like that. But Outlast, I'm going to be playing on the highest difficulty, and so I'm going to need as much time as possible. So I think I'll make that the second horror game that I do. And depending on how long it's taking, if it's taking a few days to get through it, then I'll put that aside and then do other horror stuff. Because I also have to get in the supermassive marathon I want to do. And that is actually going to be dependent on the release date for the next Dark Pictures game, because last year it came out in November, The Devil in Me, not October, which meant I couldn't include The Devil in Me in like a marathon playthrough of the Dark Pictures series because it didn't come out till November. So Directive 8020, which is the next Dark Pictures game, if it comes out in November, then I won't be able to make it part of the marathon. I won't be able to make it part of the marathon if it's releasing in November. But I'll still do the supermassive marathon anyway, even if it does release in November. But fingers crossed, this time it'll release in October like Man of Medan, Little Hope, and House of Ashes did the previous years. Godfather, you haven't played Resident Evil 4 Remake yet, so you cannot comment on performance, but you should never harass voice actors. Oh yeah, you know, because they're not the be-all and end-all of the end product. You know, as I said, they don't have the final say on every single aspect of the final product. I mean, unless you're a bit like Troy Baker, for example, could probably have something like that in his contract, where it could say, right, you know, I'm not going to, you know, like, I mean, I think Tom Cruise, for example, has certain things in his contract where you have to give me a certain amount of close-ups in the edit. You know, unless you're someone of a caliber that can have in their contract more power over certain things, you know, you're not going to be able to control that kind of stuff. Brew, was hoping you would have gotten in the tower, but it's shower time. Oh, that's fair enough, Brew. Yeah, I'll still, like, there's still a little bit of game left, so I won't be finished in 5 minutes or so, but that's definitely understandable if you've already gone, because I think it's probably been a few minutes already since your message went through. Godfather, does Tom Cruise really have that in his contract? There might be something that I heard, but I don't know if it's 100% true, but it seems like something he would want in his contracts. But there have been actors that have had certain things in their contracts, like, won't do certain things and all that kind of stuff.
Must have been completely buried in the ice before they can invade the main city.
Like some celebrities have insane demands for, catering, or if they're staying at a hotel, they want certain things done in a certain way, and if you do it the wrong way, then they'd be very upset, and the person might get fired by the management, because the management is like, how dare you upset one of our most famous guests? Could you imagine someone going like, right, I know that you have your own uniform for your employees, but I don't like the uniform. So for my whole stay at your resort, every single person working there has to wear the outfits that I myself has chosen for them.
This should balance the arm. It's not holding water. Did it? Archers. Got to take them out. Just have to aim this thing. The way is clear.
Alright, so since we're nearly finished the game, I'm deactivating the outfit change for Lara, but I will activate that when I get to a certain point in Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Lara, get down! Sophia, where are you?
I see you, Lara. We'll do whatever we can to support you from here.
Thank you, Sophia. I'll take whatever help I can get.
He's hit! Come on, let's end this! I see you! Give me suppressing fire, now! Covering fire! Man down! She's reloading! Kill her already! Cover me!
Lara, you have to get to cover. We're about to fire, and you're out in the open.
I can't.
Advancing, cover me! He's dead! Taking position! We're losing this! Taking fire! Get clear! Over here! Contact! He's gone! He's hit! Give me covering fire! We're losing this! Covering fire! He's reloading! He's gone!
I'm going to kill you!
Oh, shit. Thank you, Sophia. Hell of a shot.
Here we go, point of no return, final campsite.
All squads, I have a visual on Croft. She must not be allowed into the Chamber of Souls.
Constantine.
Damn
think you'll be able to hit him?
We'll keep trying. We're reloading the trebuchet. Hold on. The helicopter is too fast. We'll never be able to hit him.
Wait! I have an idea. If I shoot the fireball when it's near the chopper, the blast might hit it.
I hope you're right. Give us the signal. We'll be ready. My God, it worked! You did it!
It's not over yet. Get ready to fire another shot.
Send in a squad, now! I want her dead!
Lara, we're under attack! We're trying to get rid of this son of a bitch!
You've got to get out of there!
No, we're in this fight to the end.
Thank you, Sophia.
Watch out, Lara. He's on his way to you.
I'm not done yet!
Give us time, Lara. We're reloading.
Got you, you son of a bitch.
If there's anyone left alive down there, I want Croft dead! That's your last order!
Hey there, wicked Mr. E.
He's on his way to you.
Explosive arrows, chopper boss fight, call John Rambo. I think they would have been good for a Rambo game, actually. If they had the rights to that.
We have to reset the counterweight. We'll be ready soon.
So if you're doing a bow-only challenge, this is the last part of the game where you can actually switch to a different weapon. after we deal with these enemies, all your weapons get taken off you.
Just you and I now, Lara. You have no weapons, no allies, no hope. This place will become your tomb. Stay still. No! My destiny lies in the Chamber of Souls. I've come too close to be stopped now. You think I can't see you? You know, you're stronger than your father ever. There. Come out now. Look here.
That won't work.
Yes, I knew him. When my sister infiltrated your family, I was there, watching from the shadows. I can see you. I see you. He was a brilliant man, but he was weak, a coward. No! My destiny lies in the Chamber of Souls. I can see. You know, you're stronger than your father ever was. He never would have made it this way.
Thank you for the follow, the Lazy Titan. Thank you very much. I love the line Lara says to him coming up. And the way she kneels down in front of him to say it.
This is not my destiny. I was meant for greatness.
This was never your destiny. Your sister let you believe that.
I did all of this for her. Don't you walk away from me. Wait! Trinity killed your father.
No, you're lying.
He begged for his life. And when that failed, he begged for yours.
You're wrong! Shut up! Just shut up!
He was a... Come on, do it! Ah!
Burn in hell.
Thanks for the follow, Lazy Titan. Sorry about the 10-minute wait before you can chat. Over the years, I've had too many trolls, and so I've had to introduce something. So sorry about the 10-minute wait, but thank you so much for the follow.
Your men are defeated. Your brother is dead. No! That's what Trinity has wrought. Death. And that's all they'll ever bring. Give this up.
I gave up everything for this. I have no intention of giving it to Trinity.
What about your father? You're dooming him to be mocked by history. How can you let this go? When you're so close?
I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I can't let you take it.
Think of the millions, suffering and dying. We can save them. We can change the world. Together.
The cost is too high, Anna. We aren't meant to live forever. Death is a part of life.
That's easy for you to say. You're not the one who's dying.
But this isn't about you. This is about humanity, about protecting what it means to be human.
They're coming! We're surrounded!
Jacob, look out!
The source is not meant for the world!
This is your chance, Lara. Everything I've done, everything you've done. Another Croft doesn't have to die for this.
But I'm willing to.
Well, I'm not. Please. I'm dying. This is my only hope.
Anna, no!
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Jacob, hold on.
I've held on for too long already.
You knew I'd destroy it.
In all my years, I've met few as extraordinary as you. It's finally happening. My ending.
I'm sorry. All I wanted was to make a difference.
You already have. You already have.
My dearest Lara, I often think about how my father would turn over in his grave if he knew the shame I had brought upon our family's name. Croft, what does it even mean? I just hope you can make your own mark on this world someday. Remember that the extraordinary is in what we do, not who we are.
Destroying the source was the right thing to do.
I still feel like I let him down.
I think you would have made the same choice. Come on. You've got a plane to catch.
I'd listened to his last tape 1,000 times, but it's as if I was hearing my father's words only now, for the first time. It doesn't matter what choices he would have made. I have to make my own. The myth of Katesh was real. There are secrets out there that can change the world. I need to find them, not for my father, not for anyone else. Trinity is still out there, and they're more powerful than I ever imagined. I can stop them. I can make a difference. I can make the right difference. Anna, you said another Croft doesn't have to die for this. What did you mean by that? You killed my father, didn't you?
Trinity ordered his execution. I couldn't do it.
You're lying!
I loved him.
No!
It's done.
Good.
What about Croft?
No. Not yet.
The mysterious voice there is supposed to be Dominguez, the main villain in the next game. Slight little discrepancy there. If you go back into your save file, there's also this scene that happens.
I know it's a lot to take in. I wish I could have been with him in the end. Knowing your people would be safe gave him comfort. He went peacefully.
Thank you, Lara. Our oaths have been fulfilled.
What will you do now?
This is still our home. We will rebuild. But there is much work to be done. There are still enemies in this valley.
And there is still much to discover.
And there we go. That concludes my annual playthrough of 2023 for Rise of the Tomb Raider. Having said that, though, this probably, maybe, might not be the last time I play this game this year. It depends on how much time I've got left in the year and what kind of playthrough I decide to do. But as far as the annual run is concerned, that's it, done. Wasn't doing anything special for this one. However, the next Tomb Raider game that I'm doing as part of my annual runs is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which will be the last game that I'll be doing for my annual playthroughs, is going to be a 100% playthrough. Last year for my annual playthrough, I wanted to do 100% with that game. I did it with the 2013 game and this game, and I was going to do it with Shadow of the Tomb Raider as well. But I ran out of time last year and had to settle for just doing the story before the year ended last year. However, I've got more time up my sleeve, so this time I'll be doing a 100% playthrough. But I just want to thank everyone so much for watching this stream. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to take a break of about 10 to 15 minutes and then come back with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Just a few things I need to set up ahead of streaming that game. But I hope everyone has a good one who's watched this far. If you can't make it to the next stream, that's completely fine. Thank you for watching this one. And let's go back to the main menu. There we go. There we go. So just going through and getting certain things done as I went along. Got 68% completion. There we go. Alright, so I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes with Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Be back soon.